You won't believe this. Trump once said, "If they won't tell us what's going on, shoot the drones down." And someone actually did it. And the result? It's something you need to hear to believe. A guy pulled out his pistol and took matters into his own hands. But here's the twist. Things didn't exactly go his way. Now this raises a big question for gun owners like you and me. If a drone is hovering over your home, should you take the shot? Today, I'll break down what happened, what the law says, and what I really think you should do if this happens to you. But before we dive in, let me know your thoughts. Have you ever seen a drone hovering suspiciously near your property? Maybe outside your window or flying over your backyard? I want to know how you handled it or what you wanted to do. Drop your story in the comments below. Now I know some of you will agree with Trump's take. Just shoot the darn thing. Others will say, hold on, that's asking for trouble. And you know what? That's what makes this conversation so interesting. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to lay out the facts, give you my opinion, and hear yours. So stick around because this story is wild, and you might walk away with a different perspective. All right, let's set the stage and see why drones have people so worked up lately. So why are we even talking about drones? Well, it's not just a few random incidents. This has been happening everywhere. Over the last few months, people from all over have reported drones hovering where they probably shouldn't be. New Jersey, New York, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Nevada, California, you name it. And we're not talking about little kids playing with toy drones. We're talking about serious drone activity that's got everyone scratching their heads. Here's what's really crazy. These drones aren't just flying over parks or neighborhoods. They're being spotted outside military bases and even training grounds. Picture this. A Coast Guard officer reported that a dozen drones were following his lifeguard boat. A dozen. What's going on there? It doesn't stop there. Stewart International Airport in New York had to shut down for an hour because drones were flying around the airspace. An airport? If that doesn't raise red flags, I don't know what does. Even Trump's properties aren't immune. There were reports of drones flying over his golf course in New Jersey, which, if you know Trump, probably didn't sit well with him. Now here's where the frustration comes in. When all these reports started popping up, guess what the government said? We have no evidence that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat. Oh, and my favorite line, we don't see anything unusual. Nothing unusual? So you're telling me drones can hover over military bases, airports, and private property, and that's just fine? That doesn't sit right with me, and I know a lot of you feel the same way. People are seeing these things with their own eyes, and they're fed up. And what do the politicians say? More rules, more regulations. That'll fix it. Nope, I don't buy it. Trump's response? It's simple. Tell us what's going on or shoot them down. Love him or hate him. Trump has a way of saying what everyone else is too afraid to say. And honestly, can you blame him? That no-nonsense attitude is what makes people listen to him. But one man didn't just listen. He actually did it. And that's where this story really takes off. Now let's talk about Trump's response because it got everyone's attention. When the reports of drones started flooding in, the politicians did what they always do. Called for more rules, more red tape, more regulations. Typical. But Trump? He cut through all of that and said what a lot of people were probably thinking. Tell us what's going on or shoot them down. You've got to admit, whether you like him or not, Trump doesn't mince words. And when people heard that, it resonated. Why? Because when someone's peeking into your life, whether it's a drone over your house or a camera at your window, you don't want excuses, you want answers. The problem is, we're not getting those answers. Government officials keep telling us there's no danger here. Nothing unusual, nothing to see. Yet drones are hovering over military bases and airports, And somehow we're supposed to just ignore it? Sorry, but no. So Trump's words sparked a debate. Some people nodded in agreement, saying, "Yeah, if it's over my property, I'll shoot it down too." Others pointed out the obvious legal risks, because let's face it, shooting a drone isn't like swatting a fly. And that brings us to Thomas Nguyen, the Florida man who decided he wasn't waiting for permission. He heard Trump, saw a drone, and took the shot. And this is where things get interesting. So here's what happened. Earlier this year in Florida, a man named Thomas Nguyen noticed a drone flying near his property. Now, put yourself in his shoes for a second. You're at home, maybe in your backyard, and you look up. There's this drone hovering above you. It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's… what? Who knows? Nguyen didn't like it. He suspected it was spying on him. So what did he do? He grabbed his 9mm pistol, stepped outside, and opened fire. Now, they didn't specify the exact model of the handgun, but the point is, he took a shot, and guess what? He hit it. Here's where it gets even crazier. The drone wasn't some government surveillance tool or a nosy neighbor's toy. It was being operated by Walmart employees. That's right. Walmart was testing out drone delivery services in the area, and Nguyen's target happened to be part of their program. So, what happened next? The employees panicked and sent the drone back to its home setting, which drones typically have built in. And get this, Nguyen managed to take it down, but in the end, he didn't come out on top. The consequences. Nguyen was ordered to pay $5,000 in fines and restitution to Walmart for the damaged drone. $5,000 for one shot. Now you might be thinking, that's ridiculous. It was over his property, wasn't it? Well, here's the problem. Drones, under the law, are classified as aircraft. That means shooting at them can be considered the same as shooting at a plane, which is a federal crime. Now, I'm not saying Nguyen was right or wrong. I get why he did it. If you feel like someone's invading your privacy, your instinct is to defend yourself, right? But this is where things get messy. Shooting a drone, even if it's hovering right over your home, puts you in some serious legal hot water. Think about it this way. Let's say the drone looks suspicious, but what if it's not? What if it's someone's kid messing around, or in this case, a delivery drone? Not to mention, drones are getting bigger and louder these days. Some are reportedly the size of small school buses. Mistaking a drone for a manned aircraft could land you in even deeper trouble. So Nguyen's story is a cautionary tale. He made his choice, and while he did get the drone out of the sky, he paid a hefty price for it. Would you dare pull the trigger like Nguyen did? Should you shoot a drone if it's hovering near your home? I've got some thoughts on that, and trust me, you'll want to hear this before you pull out your pistol. Now let's talk about how this drone situation could play out across the country. Because let's be honest, where you live makes a big difference in how you're going to react to something like this. Take places like New York or California. If a drone shows up, most people might just grumble, call the authorities, and maybe post a video on social media. They're frustrated, sure, but they're more likely to sit back and wait for someone else to handle it. But now, let's take that same drone and drop it into Texas, Florida, or anywhere else down south. Do you think people are going to take the same approach? Absolutely not. Down here, privacy is sacred, and folks aren't shy about defending their property. You'll have more people stepping outside, asking questions, and, like Thomas Nguyen, taking matters into their own hands if they feel threatened. And that's what worries me. As these delivery drones and other unmanned aircraft become more common, companies and the government need to understand that people aren't going to tolerate this kind of intrusion forever. Hovering drones buzzing near homes? That's a recipe for conflict, and it's only going to get worse if they don't address the issue. Mark my words. If this keeps up without clear rules and transparency, it's going to spark more incidents just like the Nguyen story. And when the next drone gets shot down, don't say you weren't warned. And when that happens, the finger pointing is going to start. So here's where we land. We've got drones hovering over military bases, airports, and neighborhoods, and the government's response is basically, nothing to see here. Meanwhile, companies like Walmart are testing delivery drones and getting closer to our homes every day. I don't blame Thomas Nguyen for getting fed up. Seeing something flying over your property feels like a total violation. But as satisfying as it might feel to take that shot, the risks just aren't worth it. Shooting down a drone could cost you thousands of dollars in fines, or worse, land you in jail. At the end of the day, this isn't just about drones, it's about trust. If the government wants us to stay calm, they need to be honest. And if companies want to use drones to deliver groceries or packages, they better start respecting people's privacy. Because once trust is broken, it's hard to repair. Because the way things are going, this is only the beginning. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this whole drone situation? Do you trust the government's explanation, or do you think there's more to it? And if a drone were hovering over your home, what would you do? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the conversation. Big thanks to all of you for being here and sharing your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, holding down.